Hong Kong Direct is your weekly racing roundup full of news, views, previews, interviews and special guests. And coming up on the show today as we head into a big weekend at Sha Tin, it's Sha Ladies Purse Day. Tony Cruz won the race last year with Fiore, but that horse just there, Southern Legend, back to try and reclaim his crown. He won it back in 2019, but Cruz with the run in the race, Kying Star, does have an excellent record. A vet's life, and the vet in question is Amy Kelly, going behind the scenes with Amy and finding out what she does here at the Hong Kong Jockey Club. We're also catching up with Sam Agars, racing editor from the SCMP, as well as he looks ahead to the feature race this weekend, which of course is the Sha Ladies Purse. So, as that's the main angle, let's have a look at the field in question for this Group 3 contest. 1,800 metres of trip, as I mentioned before, Southern Legend trying to reclaim his crown. Vincent Ho will be on board there. The first 7 of these all ran last time out in the Sha Tin Trophy. Southern Legend only beat one horse home, but was only beaten 2.5 lengths, if that gives you an idea of how close that race was. Reliable Team is the one that didn't run in that race. He comes up in class from barrier 2. He can be very prominent in the early stages here, and Derek Long does get on with this horse particularly well. We'll break it down a little bit in due course, but first up, let's catch up with Tom Wood as he profiles his idea of the horse to follow.
Glorious Dragon arrived here in Hong Kong from the UK, had raced over there as Stevenson's Rocket with trainer Ed Walker, and prior to arriving here in Hong Kong he had to run in the Hampton Court Stakes and had run down the track, but he was a 2-year-old winner at Redcar over the 1,600 metres. He's only really lightly tried here in Hong Kong with the 21 starts next to his name, but he's been able to win 4, and he won basically in his second season here in Hong Kong at Happy Valley on International Jockeys Night at Happy Valley, winning well from back in the field.
Glorious Dragon out wide, a good omen, Brave Legend, high revs flying home down the outside. The Hulk, Glorious Dragon, he's dashing late to the line. Glorious Dragon.
Following that win at Happy Valley, he again returned to Sha Tin a couple of weeks later with a terrific victory out of gate number 13 over the 2,000 metres. And after that, he moved stables to Francis Loy from the Tony Millard barn. And that was where we saw his biggest victory come out of the Francis Loy barn, when he was able to win the 2021 edition of the Centenary Vase.
Glorious Dragons weave through the centre, Exalted, and out wide then is Singapore Sling, but Glorious Dragons in front. The Centenary Vase is going to the Poon Train. Glorious Dragon beat Exalted.
Following on from a successful season last season for Glorious Dragon, he resumed at the trials with some very good trials, one down the straight at Sha Tin, and then took that form from the trial at Sha Tin into the first up effort in the Oriental Watch Sha Tin Trophy, where he was a very unlucky 10th, and he lines up again this weekend with Zach Purton in the saddle.
Yeah, he wasn't the only horse in that race. They went really slow and all galloped up the straight together, so it was a nice barrier trial for him, and you know, there's every chance it's going to happen again this time. You know, we have a small field, once again lacks pace. I've drawn barrier 1 on the inside, so it doesn't look like it's going to be straightforward. I'm going to need something to happen for me, but the horse is going well in the mornings. It's a suitable race for him. I know he's got a little bit of weight on his back. That's never ideal in these Group 3 handicap races, but the horse is going well, and you know, with even luck, hopefully we can be there.
129 pounds he carries there off the inside gate. As Zach was saying, potentially looks good on paper, but it could, as you saw last time out, turn into a little bit of a nightmare as well, but barely moved when only beaten, what was it, 2 lengths into 10th place there behind Panfield. Panfield's not going round this time. So that's Tom's idea of who might be the horse to follow, but out at track work on Friday morning as well was Sam Agars to give us a rundown on the field.
Yeah, look, it's only a smallish field with 8 runners, but there's certainly some form runners coming into it. Tourbillon Diamond and Columbus County stepping up in trip. I think they certainly look like the leading hopes in the race. Zach Purton jumping on Glorious Dragon from gate 1. Yeah, you sort of think anything could happen there. And then you got Southern Legend, who won a Group 3 over this same trip of 1,800 metres in June and has won this race before. So there's certainly enough intrigue considering the size of the field. I think Columbus County can really come on from that last run over a mile. He'll appreciate the step up in trip, and yeah, with even luck, I think he can win.
Columbus County was the horse that I was tipping for that race last time out. It was a good run from him as well, 1,800 metres, probably right at the bottom end of his spectrum, probably better when he gets up to 2,000 and 2,400 metres as well. And I assume they'll be heading or trying to get him set for the Yavaza race he ran in last year. All of these horses are engaged on International Day and is a genuine stepping stone going forward as well. But I do think Glorious Dragon, with a clear run, is the one to beat. Tourbillon Diamond's the horse, a bit of a question mark horse for me. He always looks like he's going to win next time out, but doesn't. Maybe this will be his chance this time around. And hard to rule out Southern Legend, the old boy, and Kaying Star as well if he rolls along in front. So it's a very competitive race. But Glorious Dragon and Columbus County, my top two there. Thanks to Sam, who's the racing editor there at the SCMP. Now let's turn our attention to Amy Keller. There's very much a push to promote and celebrate women in racing in Hong Kong this week as we head into Sa Sa Ladies Purse Day. You'll find more of these videos on the website as well at hkjc.com. But you might see Amy sometimes on race day in the background, but today she's very much in the foreground.
I'd always been passionate about animals, like lots of young girls. Oh, buddy. I grew up with horses. I just found it very exciting working with these elite athletes, keeping them sound, keeping them on the racetrack, and then very rewarding when you get results. I've been with the Jockey Club for 6 years. It's working as part of a team, to get these horses, especially obviously like for everybody, it's often the big races. Horses like for me, Hot King Prawn, I've worked with him from the beginning when he arrived in Hong Kong. And then sometimes it might not be, it might be a Class 5 horse that's had something really go wrong that you've helped and got back on the track. For us, that can be just as rewarding to know that you've played such a big role in keeping that horse going or getting it healthy again. Women tend to be very compassionate and empathetic, and I think this works well with horses. Horses are nervous flight animals, can really help in the day-to-day work that I do. John Size, I've worked with him since my beginning at the Jockey Club. He's been great at mentoring me. With so many years of experience, I've learned a lot from him. The Hong Kong Jockey Club, I guess, like it is in many other aspects for the veterinary team, is considered the gold standard. I guess compared with other jurisdictions in the world, everything's transparent. Our drug use is low. We regulate things very heavily to ensure that the horses are all racing drug-free. For me, and I think for all the vets here, we're advocating for the horses. We're here for the animals. So it's really important to us that every horse is as happy and as healthy as can be. And it always receives the highest standard of veterinary medicine and the highest standard of care in its day-to-day life.
Great look behind the scenes there with Amy. We should try and do more with the veterinary department in actual fact. Each vet works with two different trainers, and Amy working with John Size there, and I thought you saw a shot of Hot King Prawn as well, who'll be back in action hopefully at the end of the month on main trial days. We head into this weekend, though. The Sa Sa Ladies Purse is the centrepiece of our 10-race programme, but some good action on the undercard as well. Nervous Witness back again. We'll hear from David Hayes in a moment, and Blaze Warriors, unbeaten in 3 starts last season. He goes around in the last race. I assume they're heading towards the 4-year-old series. It's over the 1,400 metres, race number 10. Happy Valley, 9 races at Happy Valley on Wednesday night, and then it's the Panasonic Cup back next Saturday at Sha Tin, the Panasonic Cup. Not a group race, but it is a high-class handicap in itself. So one of the key runners on the undercard on Ladies' Purse Day is Nervous Witness. We kept Tom busy out at track work to catch up with David Hayes to find out. Well, the first question was, would he be tempted to step him up into group company and run him on International Day?
Yeah, I think we'll just go through our classes. When his rating's up high enough, we'll look at international races. But there's so many good races on offer here in Hong Kong going through the classes, and he's only had 2 starts. So we'll just take our time and hopefully have him running on International Day, but not in the big one.
A lot of hype around him, and you've obviously trained a number of good horses down through the years. Do you get nervous on race day with horses like him?
I sometimes get more nervous with the slower ones. The good horses always put their run up. So, I said on the day it was one of the best debut winners I've ever trained, the time he ran and the way he did it. So, it's exciting every time he runs, so looking forward to it.
He goes around in race number 8, then Nervous Witness, straight after the ladies' purse. Zach Pern, of course, will be on board once more, Blaze Warrior, in that final event there. So a great day's action on Sunday. Looking forward to it, Sha Tin. That's just about all we've got time for. We're going to leave you this week with the Sa Sa Ladies' Purse of 2019 and Southern Legend at 27-1, running down again front runner in Time Up and holding off as well the mighty Exultant in the process as well. It was a thrill. Enjoy this. We'll see you again on Sunday. Bring all the action from Hong Kong direct to you.
They're still tight and compact inside the 800, and Time Warp getting his own way in the Sa Sa Ladies' Purse. But now the pressure's going to start coming in as Insatiable Wider out, Furore and also Singapore Sling make their presence felt. Ho Ho Khan followed then by Eagle Way and Southern Legend. Sacred Capital's drifted back. Exultant's back on the rail. Third last. He's hard ridden. Dark Dream and Citron Spirit. Time Warp's got a kick. He's cuddling him at the moment. He's a length clear on Southern Legend. Furore's one paced. Here's Sacred Capital unwinding from Macau down the middle as Time Warp is joined by Southern Legend. Exultant getting through and then Sacred Capital. Southern Legend and Time Warp, they're in a real battle here. Southern Legend trying to lay up on Time Warp, gets his nose in front. Southern Legend from Time Warp.